Hey, what's up, MSU YGO? Today we're here with Sam. He got first place at our weekly locals. Sam, what did you play today?
I played Mannadium.
Cool. You mind showing us the sauce?
Yeah, 41 cards here. So we'll go quickly through the standard stuff. So we'll do it by engine. So Mannadium stuff, triple planet, triple meek, and this is also Post-AGOV. So one Torrid. Everyone has pretty much cut this card from their list pre-AGOV, but this card gets a lot better with the new Synchro 6 because it's actually an extender that gets into the full combo now. There's also lines, especially if you want to go in a card, that's my extra deck I'll talk about later, or in my side deck. You have to start with Torrid in order to be able to do the full combo. So yeah, that's how we're doing Torrid today. Triple Ream Heart, obvious. For the Mannadium spells, we have 2 Obsidian and 1 Imaginings. This card's really good. It fixes your hand. Can't really complain about that. Obsidian is it's a good card, but you can brick on it. It's not always the best. So I think 2 makes sense. This is a combo deck, so there's quite a few 2-ofs in here. And I think the most important thing when you play a deck like this is not to draw multiple copies of a lot of the cards. Stuff like Ream Heart and Planet are you want to see them, so it's worth running at 3, and then Meek is the engine requirement, so that you have to play at 3. But for most of the other stuff, I think 2 of those make a lot of sense. And then the 1-up counter trap. You could side it, but I think it's if you get to this card, your board is completely unbreakable, so I think it is worth maining. So that's the Mannadium stuff. For the Scareclaw cards, we've got 2 Planet, 2 Reichardt, and 2 Arrival. A lot of people were playing 3. I bumped this down to 2 because of the new Visa Samsara, and they kind of do the same thing in a lot of cases. And again, like I said, drawing multiples. The 2 Planet is almost every turn you can search twice with Lightheart. So you're gonna go through 1, and then 1's gonna be in your hand for the following turn. I mean, this deck's not gonna have a ton of follow up, but having basically 1 add plus maybe something left on your board is usually enough to clean up from there. So yeah, that's the Scareclaw stuff. We're also playing the Cash Engine because it bridges. Also, Fenrir is just a good card. 3 Fenrir and then 1 Scare Cash. So this is how you bridge into the Scareclaw stuff with it. And then the Planet makes a lot of sense because we're playing the God card for this deck, which is Terraforming. And then the final planet here is the Tillman Planet. And this might seem weird with all the other planets, but the reason you have to play this card is because the Cash Planet doesn't search Visas. It's the only one that doesn't search Visas. And there are hands where you have to have your Reichphobia search Reichardt, and your Calarium has to search Reamheart, and so you need another planet that only gets you Visas. So that's why you play that one. And then for the other 1-ofs, this is for Reichardt or Reamheart, makes a lot of sense. And then we have Heart and Soul, the 2 Visas. This used to be a 3-of, but now you can cut it to 2. I'm playing 2 Samsara. You could play it at 3, but again, like I said, it can come up, especially if you get Bestialed, you can put this back. It doesn't plus you on its own, but it's a very flexible card because it can be a tuner or a non-tuner. It counts as Visas on the field or in the grave. And it's a 15/21, so if you're making Astral out, it can either be the 15/21 or it can be the Visas. So it's pretty helpful, especially when you're pushing through boards going second. And again, it's just you have 4 copies of Visas, but you don't have to deal with the 3 once per turns of Starfrost. So it makes a lot of sense. And now we're just at the non-engine. 3 Droplets. Droplets is really good in this deck because when you go second, it's an OTK. You want to kill. You also always have a live send-off Droplets because when you'll start your turn with field spells or a normal spell like Rhoda or Terraforming. So you always have at least 1 free send, so you don't have to go super neg for Droplets. And then Talents. I didn't want to main this card because I know how many people are on hand traps in the main, but I like playing enemy controller, but it turns out if I play enemy controller and put this on the side, I just didn't have enough room to fit everything. So we stuck with the Talents, and then 2 Book. 2 Imperm. This is 41 cards, so there's an argument that you could move these around perhaps and play 3 of Eclipse or whatever, but that was the main deck non-engines. That's 41. Guess we'll do
all right, anything else you'd want in your main deck right now? Or?
No, and honestly, it feels really good. I put a lot of testing into it and a lot of just theorying. So I think main deck's good. I guess you could think about the non-engine a little bit more, but I think the engine ratios feel pretty solid.
Makes sense.
So we'll go for the extra deck. We'll start off with the Synchros. So 1 Synchro 6, the Triscuta. This card is it's a godsend for this deck. So it comes up, doesn't necessarily come up in your like the old 2-card combos. They're kind of the same. But when you get like hand trapped or double hand trapped, or you only open Ream Heart or Calarium, this card actually lets you play, whereas before you had nothing. Because basically you'll normal Ream Heart, add ball, special ball, and then go for a Synchro 6, resummon the ball, and then go for Amritara. And then Amritara can add Calarium or the Tear Field spell, and you'll link off into Scarecat or to Lightheart and add the Scare Field spell, and then you have like basically like you have a combo. It's not like the biggest one, but you can do something. So that's a 6. And then what you usually make after that is going to be this one, because this one summons back a tuner, but this one can be made using only tuners because it's 1 tuners plus 1 light monster. This card searches any card in your deck. It also helps you like instantly recycle the Lightheart, because if you have this and Lightheart on the field, you can go effect pop Lightheart, and then you go Lightheart effect once per duel to resummon, and then you just link Lightheart and Lightheart, and there, boom, there's your follow-up. For the other Synchro 8, I have Excel. I was thinking of cutting this card, but it actually has come up a few times. It's good into Shifter to get to Dissipator. There's like some hands where you can, if you have like Ream Heart plus Calarium and Ball, you can try to like force an early Nibiru by going for this without committing your Visas to the board or something like that. And then also it's like if you can't go through Crimson Dragon, you can actually make Dissipator with this because it's a dragon. So I actually think it's worth keeping. And then I play 3 Synchro 10s. There's the ones like that are kind of necessary. There's Dissipator and Baron. These are both like basically engine requirements. And then I'm flexing into one, and I like chinging a lot in this deck. It's part of the God board because the counter trap has an effect in the graveyard where you can banish it at any time to put back 3 Mannadium cards. So this basically, if you get to the counter trap in your God board, this card is live. Like the quick effect non-target double banish is pretty nuts interruption to like clean up after everything else has been used. And then when you go second, it's pretty strong too. So I think I'll stick with this Synchro lineup. And then this is another engine requirement, Synchro 12 for Crimson Dragon. So those are the Synchros. I like it. We'll go for links. You go double Lightheart. I tried cutting this, but I actually think not every game with this deck ends on the second turn. So like sometimes you do need to think about like turn 3 or 4. Like the last round I played, we had like a 6-turn game. So it is possible. So I think the second one does come up. And then 1 Cross Sheep engine requirement, got to play it. SP, this is the new best link for this deck for a lot of reasons. It what was I going to say? So basically, its first effect is always live. Because you play a Link 1, similar to like Pearly when you go into Anima. When you go second, basically you're going to go into Lightheart, and then you can link that off into this. So you'll always get the first effect to like banish a card. And then it can also be part of your inboard and can recycle your Baron Negate, because Baron's one spell face on the field. So if you have this in Baron, you can go Baron Negate, and you go SP, banish Baron, banish that. In phase, Baron comes back, boom, status Negate back. So basically that was the Appaloosa cut. These are probably the most debatable cards. I'm playing Dark and Access Code. This is for like, because a lot of times I'm going for this on turn 1, and if you activate the first effect, you actually cannot attack directly that turn. So Dark into Access Code, and especially if other people are on like IP and SP, the Dark is even better because you can snatch the IP. But this just make sure you kill. A lot of people are not super familiar with this deck, understandably, and so like they side D-barrier and stuff like that. And like having this kind of means you can kill through that, because you can't really set up anything. Like you're not playing Appaloosa, so you just need to make sure you can push through. And then the final card that helps you push through is Astrolaud. So this card could be a 3-of, to be honest. But there's just no, this actually likes insanely tight, so there's just no room. But this card does everything, and when you go second, it helps you break your boards. Even better with Samsara now. When you go first, you're going to go through at least 1 first turn. Sometimes it sucks to have to go through 2, but it is part of the God board. But that's my 15 card extra. And we'll just kind of run to the side. So we're on 4 Bestials. This probably should be Druisworm, but I don't know where my third one is. Bestials are like kind of pseudo engine in this deck. There's a lot of weird things you can do, because you can like summon a Bestial, summon Meek right there. If you summon Druisworm, that's like, you'll summon Excel, and then you trigger Druisworm, and then Excel brings back Meek, and you have Baron like right there. Also, if you have a Samsara, that's a Synchro 10 right there. So Bestials are like, they're pretty strong in this deck, like as kind of pseudo engine cards. And then obviously you need these in the meta for like Tier and Unchained, and kind of, Droll. It's good against this deck. It's kind of, you can't really play tuner hand traps in this deck because it conflicts with the Calarium. So like if you Ash on their turn and you activate Calarium and you normal Ream Heart, you can't special summon the ball because it's no longer a 15/21. And Droll is just kind of like more impactful in certain matchups anyway. Like this one, and so that's why I have to play Call Back, because you lose. This is the only card that you can pretty much do nothing about. And then kind of wrap it up, there's Thrust Package. So I main deck the Talents, so those are already part of the Thrust Package. And then there's 2 Lightning Storm and a Duster. This is, the Herald of the Abyss is for Pearly, but like I don't know. If you have other outs for it, you have like the Imperms books, the Droplets. This card's just like unsightable probably against almost everything else. Like you wouldn't side against Unchained because you have so many other outs to the board. So this could be a D-Barrier maybe. So if you get Drolled, you can like Thrust for D-Barrier. It could be anything. That's the most cuttable card. But I really do like this last card. Last card, Abyss Dweller. Especially with the new, if you play Torrid, which is the other reason I want to play Torrid, there's like 1 card lines. Not 1 card, but 2 card lines with like Ream plus Torrid where you can get to Baron plus Abyss Dweller, so your Abyss Dweller is pretty likely to resolve. Because if you can get to this against Tyr or Unchained, it's basically game over. And if you can get to the counter trap too, then Droplets doesn't even work at that point. And what's going to happen, and the reason this is so strong against Tyr is what's going to happen is your normal board is super polyable, like into Darks, because you'll end on Dissipator plus SP. They're going to keep the super poly in, and then you're going to go for Abyss Dweller, and then your board is like the super poly will do absolutely nothing. That's the full 15 card side, and I like this deck a lot. So
thank you very much. Anyone you want to shout out before we go?
Just shout out the Yu-Gi-Oh Club here at MSU. It's a lot of fun, and we'll see you guys at YCS Indy.
Before we go, one last thing. If you want some sweet MSU Yu-Gi-Oh swag, make sure to check out our associate, LDB Duel. And if you want 10% off your first purchase, make sure you use promo code MSU YGO 10. Link will be in the description, guys, and see you around.